Hi, in this Let's Play, we're doing Fruit Machine Simulator on the Amstrad. It's just like the real thing, says so on the box. Let's have a look at the development notes. This is from my loft and all the notes we collected together at the end of development. As you can see, it was developed on the Amstrad with those classic Amstrad discs. This is the days before us having a PC and PDS. The game was actually designed by James Wilson, our artist. He did a lot of the artwork for the original Codemasters games. He was best friends with Richard and David Darling. Actually went to school with them. And he'd basically done this game design because he was an aspiring game designer as well. And he was working with Mark Baldock, the programmer behind Super Robin Hood on the Spectrum, to create this game. It was autumn '87, and we'd had a phone call that would we like to go partying with them down in Lyme Regis, near where they grew up. We turned down the offer to go down with them, and unfortunately, the next day we had a shocking phone call. James Wilson had actually died that night. It was late in the evening or early morning. They were drunk, and unfortunately, he fell off the sea wall or the pier, and it was a very dark, stormy, horrible night. So it's very, very sad that happened. We were in deep shock, and we thought, well, what should we do? What can we do? There's very little you can do, but we thought, out of respect, we would take James's game to the Amstrad, which it was never intended to be on. So that's actually how the Amstrad version of Fruit Machine Simulator came to be. We have a look at the design. James has completely handwritten all the details, laid out screen designs. And then we've taken these, and of course Mark Baldock's Spectrum version, had a look at that and completely recoded from scratch using Panda sprites the Amstrad version.
Okay, so let's take a look at Fruit Machine Simulator on the Amstrad.
Codemasters, Fruit Machine Simulator.
Okay, let's play with wheel money.
Like we used to in the old days.
It makes it so much more interesting.
So I think the rule we used to use, basically you put your £1.50 in. In fact, do you want to start a two-player game, Andrew? Feed all your money in, yeah, and I'll feed all my money in.
And press the button and let's see, spin those wheels. Got a cherry, oh come on, third one, and a melon. That's not going to get me anything.
I know, you have got something.
Hang on, 40p or lose. Oh, like it's, oh.
So spaces to gamble, or you can just collect. If you want chicken out with it. Oh, you won.
80p, oh, so
or lose.
God, double quits, I'm going to collect 40p, so it drops back, does it? Okay.
No, that's really good.
Okay, so I've lost 10p.
But you've got 4 credits in the machine still, so press space.
So keep going. We clearly haven't looked at this before, so yeah, it's been 26 years or something that we wrote this. So, oh right. So what's this? Cash bash. It's gone up to 4. What does it mean? Do I just add up to that or something? We don't really play fruit machines in when we see them anyway in pubs.
Actually, there's a funny story about this.
Oh, I've done that thing again. Okay, I'm going to gamble. What would your funny story? I lose.
That you used to sort of see fruit machines occasionally in pubs and clubs and stuff, but we were sort of young teenage boys and we didn't really have much money, so you kind of stand and you'd watch them, and very, very occasionally you sort of put 10p in, but you'd lose it quite quickly.
Slowly taking my money.
And so when we started writing games, sort of at the age of 15, 16, and we were starting to get some notoriety, we, I guess it was 17 or 18, we'd written Super Robin Hood and we got a big newspaper article. We actually had this guy come round our parents' door, sort of around our house, and he said, oh, I'm the managing director of this fruit machine company based in Bath, sort of near Trowbridge. So I saw your newspaper story in there about you guys and your programming ability and stuff, and I'd actually like to offer you some jobs. Oh, hang on, back to the game.
It's your turn.
Yeah, let's have a look. I haven't won anything with that. No.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, cash bash. So, okay, there's a bit of a gamble going on here. I think if I hit the return, I might be able to get a stop on the H. Oh man, that was
that
good.
actually skill or luck?
No, that was brilliant. I love the way the resolution is so low that we've actually written the numbers 1 through to 9 actually in a resolution of 2 pixels wide by 5 pixels deep. Oh, I've got a skill game.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, the
winning
H
streak.
is just a square.
It does, but let's go for it. Skill climb. Oh, winning streak. I don't know what winning streak is, but it sounds good. Let's do it. Well, let's go with holding the cherries. I'm really not sure it's a good idea because I don't really know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to spin the middle one and see if we can get another cherry. Go on, another cherry.
Like
oh, yeah!
Well, you are on a winning streak.
Okay, so now we've got this gambling that you had. Do I gamble? Gambling!
Not so much of a winning streak then.
I want to return. I'm going to repeat. Yes, no. Yes, no.
Oh,
Yes,
50-50 to save it, was it? I think that was it. I think you just lost that bit of money.
Oh man.
So you were giving a story about some
sorry.
guy from
Yeah, so anyway, basically this guy came round and offered us jobs on the doorstep to become programmers at his fruit machine company. So it's not really what we wanted to do. We weren't really in fruit machines. So we actually said, well, let's have a look at what the company's all about. So we did a little trip over to the factory. And we were watching how they program the fruit machines, and actually most of it was sort of wiring and lights and everything. It's all very, very complicated, very little software involved at all, and we were very surprised.
Well done!
Yay!
I don't know what you're doing, you're busy talking and not watching, and winning streak.
Lost. Oh man, I lost my winning streak. Anyway, so we went round and we were just quite stunned actually at sort of how primitive the coding was and the fact that every machine was just coded from scratch. And of course the one thing that also kind of occurred to us at the time was that surely if there is any software code in the background of these things, the programmers are going to put some cheat modes in them. So to this day we're convinced that there's lots of cheat modes in the back end of fruit machines, and they're doing a lot more things behind the scenes to make sure that the odds are really stacked in their favour and not the player's favour. So we never really kind of got the bug for fruit machines, but actually creating this game, it was a lot of fun. I have to say though that we're not experts on fruit machines, and just trying to remember back the rules in this one, it's a bit tricky.
Okay, so I think you get the idea of Fruit Machine Simulator. I think we wrote this one pretty quick. I think this was probably a month to 6 weeks, start to finish. And yeah, I think we did a fairly good job on the Amstrad, making a slick conversion, and does what it says on the box. It's Fruit Machine Simulator. Okay, so let's have a look at the other versions. So here's the Spectrum version. Here's the Commodore 64 version. Here's the Atari XLXE version. Oh, and here's an interesting thing. When we were doing the research for this Let's Play video, we went on YouTube to find various different comments and clips about versions of Fruit Machine Simulator. And I'm not sure if we knew at the time about the Atari 8-bit versions, but it seems that there was a version and they actually themed it around Dizzy, which is surprising because we didn't really know about it. Then there was Fruit Machine Simulator 2. So here's the Spectrum version. the Commodore 64 version, the Amstrad version, which wasn't written by us, came out on the ST and Amiga as Advanced Fruit Machine Simulator, reprogrammed again from scratch by Tim Mann, with music by Lyndon Sharp and artist Damon Redmond.
It's been fun reminiscing Fruit Machine Simulator. It was very sad that it all had to start because of the tragic accident of James Wilson, a very talented artist who was cut short in his prime. He was the life and soul of the party, but that's why we have Fruit Machine Simulator on the Amstrad.
Dedicated to James Wilson.